Welcome to the Magnet Pool, where we dive into Miami-Dade's most innovative and creative magnet programs that truly make Miami-Dade County Public Schools your best choice in education. I'm your host, Dr. Magda Castro-Pereira, Administrative Director in the Office of Innovation and Advancement. And today we're putting a spotlight on a pathway, a magnet pathway, that truly affords students an opportunity to step out of the traditional classroom and into one of our South Florida's most natured classrooms, our oceans, and the coastal coastways. Cutler Bay's Ocean Academy for Science and Technology, a pathway that will afford students an opportunity to explore marine science, environmental studies, and so much more, from middle school through high school. And today I'm joined by the two leaders that are making this career pathway a true success for our students in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. George Parra, principal of Cutler Bay Middle School, and Lucas de la Torre, principal of Cutler Bay Senior High School. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Listen, a career pathway from middle school through high school. I know Miami-Dade County Public Schools and the magnet programs is really a recipient of this type of program that truly opens up the doors educationally for the success of students in our own backyards, right? And what better way than through Coast? So let's get started and really come down to the foundation, because we do have a lot of parents that have probably no idea. This is the first time that they're hearing about our magnet program, Coast. So, George, talk to me a little bit about what is Coast at Cutler Bay Middle School? What does it look like?
So, thank you again for having me. Coast is probably the most unique and dynamic magnet program I believe there is out there. It's giving students an opportunity to really be out there with nature, like you said, with Florida, with the ecosystem, with the ocean, work out there, help the environment, just do so many projects, so many things beyond the classroom, right? There's a lot of connection in the classroom, but where the real learning takes place is when they're out there, making sure we're helping our environment in such a needy time.
Right. And we talk about this place-based learning, right? Mm-hmm. And they do study marine science and environmental studies, but what are some of the stuff that they do outside that really bring that connection between, how to become environmental stewards and also how to incorporate that sciences?
Oh my God, there's so many things, and it starts with, the basic coastal cleanups, right? They go out there to the field and they're doing these coastal cleanups, and it's not just I'm cleaning up. They're collecting data. They're collecting debris. They're meeting with real world personnel that are in the field and with scientists and collaborating with them to understand, all these things that are going on, the global climate and everything else that goes into it. And this is on a weekly basis that students are participating in various areas of the Everglades, Biscayne National Park. It's so many shark tagging that goes on, which we'll be able to talk to that. But it's just amazing the experiences that they have.
Wow. And to have those experiences from 6th grade and evolving those skills in 7th and 8th, and then they have an articulation over to the high school. Right. So, Lucas, talk to us about how the Coast program evolves, right, from the middle school foundational skills that they're receiving to when they get to high school where they're truly, truly living it on a day-to-day basis.
It works out perfectly because the middle school, many of their curriculum, their offerings, and their activities, all those extracurriculars, it mirrors what we do at the high school level too. Right. So it's a continuation of what they've started And when the students come to us from their coast program to our coast program, it's a continuation of all those activities and so forth. In our case, since it's at the high school level, and we do have a similar track to the middle school, although our curriculum is a little rigorous because we start offering the Cambridge environmental classes, the environmental management, the marine science. And so that basically what it does is, like I said, it increases the rigor, and that's more like what separates us from the middle school curriculum is the increase in rigor. And also too, just the hands-on learning experience, you can't beat that. The
Right.
kids love it. They love it. They love it. They love what they're doing. They love the program, and it opens up an opportunity for kids to really look at what are they going to be their career options once they graduate from Cutler Bay Senior High School.
So you touched upon something, and I see it in both of your programs and the way students articulate, right? You know, Coast is not just a class. It's a course. It's a style of living. They're living that student experience on a day-to-day basis, where they're really capturing and becoming those students that thrive in that
Their classroom
environment.
is not just in the building, it's outside of the building.
Exactly. And I believe in both scenarios, because I've been in both of your schools. It's exactly that. And I want to touch a little bit about the high school setting when you touched upon Cambridge, right? So for our listeners, right, Cambridge is an opportunity for students to receive college credits.
Right, and their international diploma.
In their
in
international
addition to their high school diploma.
And I do want to say, and I know we've had segments before on advanced academics, because in all of our programs, starting in middle school, we do offer advanced coursework, right? And rigorous coursework. But when they graduate from Cutler Bay Senior High School, they can earn their international diploma, which provides them free,
100% bright futures.
100% bright futures just for completing and
college
passing.
credit.
And college credits for completing and
courses.
passing those 7 courses,
exactly.
right? Those required courses. So
Yes.
that's student
It's a huge benefit.
Exactly. I mean, especially nowadays. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes.
Especially for our parents, right? And I was fortunate to be one of those parents that my, youngest two did Cambridge, right? So
They took advantage of that opportunity.
100% by Miami-Dade County Public Schools. So I'm very
Yes.
grateful. So let's go back and talk about that student experience, right? Because the students are learning by doing.
Right.
And that is that experience that you were talking about, that they're stepping outside of the traditional classroom and going into the environment that they're actually, that's their passion, right? They want to learn about all of that. So, George, what does the students' week look like at your school? Because we've had many programs here in Magnet Pool, and that student experience is what drives, right, that student to come to school every day, learn, and balance academics, and also learn and prepare for their future. So talk to me a little bit about that student experiences. If a parent says, well, I'm interested in the Coast, what is my 6th, 7th, or 8th grader going to look like, feel like, do at your school?
Well, I keep using the word dynamic. It's just because that is truly the experience that they're getting, right? It's coming into the middle school, they're leaving the elementary school. It's a new era, a new format, and the parents are a little bit worried and concerned. And oh my God, he's not in one class. The transition,
is very different.
But like first and foremost, they're blessed with dynamic teachers, right? In the Coast program, they're just 2 dynamic teachers that are just always helping the kids and on top of them. But their week is just gonna look like hands-on activities, labs in the classroom, learning about nature, learning about the ecosystems, learning about different things, using experiments to make sure that they're understanding, everything that's going on. And the week could be capped off with a field trip on a boat to go shark tagging, or it could be capped off by going to the Arena Estates, by going to the Everglades and going camping, and learning everything that they were putting together in the classroom. Now it's making sense to them where they're really learning outside of the classroom, and they're looking forward to it all week, right?
Of course.
They're in their math classes, they're in their science classes, and they're wherever they're at, but they're looking forward to it all week. So they know the rest of the classes have to be on point as well, right? Because they have to go to these field trips at the end of the week. So it encompasses so many things, and not just from those experiences in the classroom with the labs and the hands-on activities that they do every single day. just throughout the week, prepping for it, getting ready. That's what the lesson is going to be like the whole week, prepping for that field trip, prepping for that activity at the end of the week.
Now, I've been in your classroom, and your classroom is definitely not a traditional classroom by no means. So describe it a little bit, because I want our listeners and our viewers to listen to you describe what that class looks like.
Okay. Well,
Because it's wall to wall.
yes, it is wall-to-wall nature. Right?
Nature.
It is. I've given it different names, from Jumanji to Waterworld to a lot of different things. But you walk into this classroom, and this is our 7th grade coast classroom, right? This is like that middle year, that break. It is just something to behold. You will see animals from all areas of the world. With frogs, snakes, caterpillars, mosquitoes. All you have, everything safe and everything caged and everything
Yes.
properly. But over 35 different animals and specimens that you will find. A lot of reptiles, a lot of amphibians, anything that you will find here in Florida specifically. It's something that we want them to be aware and familiar with. The students protect them. The students feed them. They take care of them. They become their class mascots.
Right.
They walk around with them sometimes, but it's part of like, oh, there comes our coastie with Twix or with the other snake or the other lizard or whatever have you. It's something to behold once you step in there.
But they need that in order to transition over to high school, where they get, a deeper understanding of nature and of marine science. So talk to me a little bit about the experience in the high school. What is their week like?
Very busy.
I know.
Very busy. There is always something going on. A dissection, a field trip, or kayaking field trip. Someone's going camping for 3 days. So it's the coast kids are constantly participating in something. Hands-on learning. We like to invite a lot of guest speakers related to the marine science world.
Right.
That they come to our school and they speak to our students. We provide a lot of internship opportunities for our students as well, for our high school students. So what a great opportunity, talking about that classroom outside of the building, of having those kids have an opportunity to go to Biscayne National Park and complete an internship there over the summer.
Incredible opportunities for them. And, and we're going to talk a little bit about partnerships, but that falls under our partners, because we've said it so many times that magnets are successful because of the partners that we have, right?
Absolutely.
They sustain that relationship where we're exposing the students to the real world life, right? And it's great to hear.
They make the connection.
Absolutely.
They make the connection.
And I was just going to say, it's great to hear how these coast students are really building the connection between what they're learning in science in our classrooms, right? Both in the traditional classroom and outside, and also connecting it to the real world, right? Let's talk about the impact, because you're learning all of this in 6th grade, right? You're able to learn all of this in 6th grade, and you're going through and graduating from Coast as a 12th grader. What type of environmental impact is taking place right now with your students? How do you see that impact? How do they see that impact?
I think they're seeing it again, daily, weekly, right? This is Florida, right? It's one of the most vulnerable environments that we have, with the Everglades right in our backyard, Biscayne Park, all these things that are right there. So they see the importance of it. We're also green schools now, right? So we're going over that, the importance of it, to preserve the environment, take care of it. We are responsible, right? This is our backyard, and they fully buy into it, right? They wouldn't be giving up. A 12-year, 13-year-old is not going to give up their weekend to go clean by a canal unless they really fundamentally did not believe in it and trust in what the teachers are giving them. So the impact is real, and I think as they get older and transition into the high school, it's only going to get bigger, and they become leaders of the movement to protect our environment here in South Florida.
Right. And they're they're getting the skills and becoming environmental stewards, right? And it's not only them, because I've seen many, many instances where parents and family members are joining this effort, right?
You'll have parents at a coastal cleanup, and a local Cutler Bay coastal cleanup. You'll have parents there. So in addition to all the community members and so forth. So at least with us, what I find is that talking about the environmental stewardship, it kind of carries over to the other academies in the school. That responsibility that we have to take care of our world.
That's amazing.
So-
But, let me say, it's the culture, right? It starts with you guys, and it filters down all the way down to the students. So in that aspect, I would say it's great to see how it's, evolving and incorporated throughout all of your academies and all of your programs, because both of your schools have so many programs. But at the end of the day, it's the culture that the students are bringing, that they're learning from the coast, that they're transferring it to not only their colleagues in the magnet programs, but they're to all the students in the school.
Right.
So, and I attribute that to your leaderships and also to the teachers, right?
Absolutely.
Because it all filters down from the top all the way down to the
We
students.
have-
And your students are all leaders. I've seen them in action, so they are truly stewards.
It's our responsibility to make them leaders.
Yeah.
So that they have the necessary skills. So once they leave us, they're ready. They're ready to face the real world.
Exactly. So they're just not learners, right? They're actual leaders.
And I have a great, I have a great staff.
Yeah.
My Coast Academy lead teacher, Marshall Rufo, and my assistant, Irene Montano. They're legends in the
Yes.
field.
Yes.
So
Yes, legends.
I could definitely piggyback.
And
on
you
that.
too.
Miss Vargas, Miss Maximilian. I always tell them the heartbeat of Cutler Bay and everything that's going on in that middle school. So, yeah,
we're
blessed.
We're
Blessed.
both blessed to have
Blessed.
people in place that really care about the program.
Yeah. And let's just say the city of Cutler Bay is blessed to be able to have.
Talking about partnership, they're our
Exactly. I
biggest
was just
partner.
going to lead into
Yeah,
that.
that is-
Yeah,
yep,
you're
definitely.
absolutely right, because this pathway is very unique in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. It's not often that we see the career pathway from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade. So let's talk a little bit about partnerships, because the city of Cutler Bay is a great partner, right? But talk to me about what different types of partners you have. I know both of you have the city, right? And both of you have, I believe, Deering Estates as well. So I'm sure you probably have most of the same, but talk to us a little bit. We'll start with the middle school, and then we'll go over to the senior high school.
Right. So yeah, just like you mentioned, right? The town of Cutler Bay, right? And we're not going to talk too much about that because it's an ideal partner that we're always doing things with every
Yeah.
weekend. The coastal cleanups, the community events.
And they're there with us.
And-
with us.
And they're there.
Oh.
They're there with the kids. And
Perfect. That's beautiful.
that's
Oh yeah,
leadership. That
it's
is
a
leadership.
side by
That
side.
is-
It's a side by side.
That's local
100%.
leadership.
Yeah.
They are there.
Beautiful.
It's a side by side, and we're constantly doing things, collaborating with each other to make sure that we're working alongside them. During the States, it's just so dynamic, right? Because it gives the students something to look forward to every week when they're either going out kayaking, going out through the marsh, going through the sea, all these other things. And then again, it's not just here's a partnership. It's involved, right?
Right.
Education, instruction. There's always a plan in place. So when our students are there participating, it's fully educational, fully hands-on, right? Our parents, our CAPA, fully invested into what we're doing every single day. We have a partnership with VU Church, which just supports us, and anything that Ms. Vargas and Ms. Max come up with an idea, like, yes, we'll support
They'll make
you.
it happen.
Let's do this. If things get a little tight or worrisome, it's like, let's figure out how we're going to make it happen, because they're constantly seeing what is going on.
And they're doing it for students, right?
100%. 100%.
So as they transition, how does those partnerships grow? Because I know both of you share a lot of partners, but
We we have similar
Many.
partners in regards to everything that we do, what Mr. Barra mentioned as well. It's being a part of those, putting those kids in a position where they might not have been, drawn to Biscayne National Park, but give them that opportunity and see how it goes. Just giving them those opportunities, I think that's what's most important. And we're lucky that we have a good parent support network for our Coast Academy too. And I think that helps too, because even at the high school level, those parents, they need them. We need them there.
Yeah,
we
of
need
course.
them there. Their kids need them there.
absolutely. Absolutely. And these are the experiences and the partnerships that are really bringing these real world experiences today to our students, right? And you couldn't do it without the success and the partnerships that we build. And the town, having the town be at all of these activities is not only showing them there's leadership at the local level, but that there's future in advancement in these actual studies that they're taking place now, right? So they're seeing that there's potential growth in their careers, which is really, that's what we're doing. We're preparing our students,
What a better
right?
investment than in the kids that are in your town, in the town of
Exactly.
Cutler Bay, that reside there. What a better,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
an investment in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's talk a little bit about your vision, right? Because Coast is the foundation, right? So what is your vision for Coast at Cutler Bay Middle School? Where do you see it in 3 to 5 years?
Well, I could honestly say that what we've done, and when I say we, the Coast teachers, what they've done in the last 3 years and the growth of the program, right now we just finished the magnet applications, and I can tell you that you'd be very happy to hear over 450 applications. When that program started, we were lucky to get 60.
Oh.
So
Great things happening.
yeah. So as they are growing, what do we want to see in the next few years? I would love to see a 50% enrollment in the magnet program, specifically for Coast, right? And I would love to see our continuation and collaboration with Mr. De La Torre for these students to understand that even though you're in 6th grade, you're starting your career
Right.
for the future.
Exactly.
This is what you're leaning to.
Exactly. And your vision, where do you see Coast?
I see Coast just continuing to be, and like you said, stewards of the environment. I think it's really important that we continue the path that has been set with the foundation from the students from the middle school, bring them over to the high school, and just like get them ready for that real world experience that they're going to have making sure that they have all the tools that they need in order to be successful. I want to see Coast just continue. What a beautiful thing to have kids that are stewards of the environment,
Right.
that are going to be out there making sure that there's if there's a cleanup, that they're involved even as an adult, and
Yeah.
those are really important things that these kids can benefit and the
yeah.
world in general.
Absolutely. And I know that a lot of alumni come back to you.
Yes, they
and
do.
they volunteer in all of these activities. So
Absolutely.
it's great to see the alum coming back and giving back, not only to the students that are currently there, but
When you have such a great experience,
yeah,
you miss it.
you miss it.
You miss it, and you want to come back to it.
We give them wings, but then they
Right.
miss it.
Right.
They come back
They
a little
always
bit.
wanna come
They
back.
They
come
come
back
back
to
home.
visit.
They come back home.
Yes. Okay, so we always end the show with one question. So relatively quick, in a word or two. What do you think the magnet pull is in your respective programs, in your respective schools? So what is that drive that's pulling students to the Coast at Cutler Bay?
It's basically we're putting the phones down and we're going out to the world to learn.
Well, that's in a nitty gritty. That's
Yeah, we're going out and giving opportunity to students to actually learn the way we're supposed to be learning.
and have fun doing it.
100%.
For us, I think it's just the expectations that we set for our students, and they know that once they're with us, we're going to do our very best to make sure that they're successful.
And I know that in both of your schools, that nurturing environment where all staff members
important.
are part of their family
Yes.
is really what draws students to both of your schools. And I thank you both for joining me today. And I think it's a great opportunity to, share with our listeners and our viewers the amazing pathway that we have in Coast within Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And a big thank you to our listeners and our viewers today for joining us, and to Miami Community Newspapers for affording us an opportunity to share our educational stories with the community. To our families listening out there, Miami-Dade County Public Schools has hundreds of magnet programs available that will be aligning to your child's passions and talents. And don't forget, there is a second opportunity to apply right now through OpenSeat magnet application. Families can also follow us so that they don't miss any information on our social media at Miami magnets. And that's it for this episode of The Magnet Pull. Keep being drawn to what inspires you, and we'll see you next time.